Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I wanted to come on here and do an updated daily makeup routine because I have kind of gone through a lot of my makeup. I've gotten rid of a lot of things. I thought that I would just go through that with you and show you what I do. Let's get into it. Grab yourself some water, maybe a snack, and let's do our makeup together. So first off, I'm going to start with primer, and right now I like to use a combination of primers. I like to start with a hydrating dewy primer like the Revolution Glass Skin, and I also really like the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum. I am like down to the very bottom. Today I'm going to use the Revolution one. I've really been loving this. I got this last year, I think. And I actually was using it as skincare because like after all of my serums and stuff, I really enjoyed finishing off with this. It just made everything look nice and dewy and fresh. So I'm gonna start off with just a little dropper of that and go right in. I specifically like to get this under my eyes because I do have very dry under eyes. Who hasn't heard that before here on this channel? I have dry skin, what's new? Just about everything that I'm using is very, very affordable. There might be a couple things that are maybe slightly pricier, but you can still find them affordably sometimes. Maybe, I don't know, I may have just lied. I've already done my brows. I've used a combination of the Anastasia Brow Dip Brow Pomade. The one I use is in the shade Caramel. I use that with a BH Cosmetics dual-ended brush. I did just wash all my brushes, but would you know it? No. And then I use the e.l.f. Brow Wow in, I think I use the one in Blonde, but I'm not sure, or Taupe. After I use the serum primer, I like to use the e.l.f. Porless Putty Primer. I did not immediately understand the like hold that this had on everybody, but this stuff is amazing. I have dry skin and I didn't think that this would work well for me, and this is like, I feel like I can't put makeup on without this or it just does not look as put together and nice as it normally would. So I use this every time I do my makeup now. Like, I have to use a combination of the two primers. The dewy one, there's also another one in my drawer that I'm trying to decide if I like. I'm not sure. Oh, my cat bit me. And I know a lot of people like to It's lovely. Just stuck my finger in the bronzer that I'm using as a mirror. I know a lot of people like to concentrate this, like in those specific pore areas, but I like to use this all over my face, again underneath my eyes, because I do feel that this is pretty moisturizing. I just put it everywhere, and I've hit pan. I have the luminous one that I actually don't care for all that much. I need to try out some more of the ones that I have in my drawers. But first impressions on the luminous one, I didn't care for it. It felt more drying, weirdly enough, but I think this one has like hyaluronic acid and niacinamide or something, like ceramides and stuff. But I have that one, I have the, I don't think I have the, I might have the matte one. I'm not sure. I don't know why I got the matte one. I don't like matte finishes. And then I have the cookies and cream one because I had to get that whole collection, even though I am ridiculously allergic to e.l.f. eyeshadows. Next I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to do under my eyes first and then the highlighted areas. And there are two different concealers that I like to use for this. The first one is the Wet n Wild Incognito. I think this one is really great. It blends really well, it's really creamy, it has decent coverage. You can build it up if you don't like the coverage that it gives you automatically. The other one that I like grudgingly, I did not like it to begin with. It dries really, really quickly, but the finish is great if you work well with it, if you work quickly. So for the sake of affordability, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Incognito one. I think it's great. So I'm gonna conceal under my eyes and then the highlighted areas of my face. And then I'm gonna go in with a slightly darker shade to conceal some just small spots. My skin has been doing okay, despite it being winter and very, very dry, but that's why skincare is important. I'm using the Cookies and Cream sponge from the N Wild from the e.l.f. collection. I love this sponge. I have a feeling that I'm just going to use it to death. It's amazing. It's probably the best sponge that I've ever used. I like it better than the Real Techniques one. This concealer is also great because it gives you time to work. So it doesn't dry up super quickly. You have time to blend it out. Sometimes I'll even just use these two shades as like a base and call it good like that. It's faster. All right, that is concealer done. Next, I'm gonna do foundation. I've not been a big fan of powders. This one, however, is wonderful. It's the L'Oreal 24-Hour Fresh Wear Infallible. But this is great. I am amazed that, oh jeez, okay, I have to go shut that curtain. Okay, that's a little bit. And I have hit pan on it. I need to get a new one. I like to use this with the Morphe M439. I think this is just their foundation brush. Again, another product that I'm surprised I like because Morphe drives me nuts. But this brush and their continuous sprays are fantastic. And maybe I shouldn't have worn navy pants while I'm doing this. But I'm amazed at how good this feels on my skin and how kind of natural it makes it look. This lighting is going to be all over the place. I'm so sorry. And you all know I have a complex about my forehead and my forehead wrinkles, and I don't think that this sinks in too badly. It's very easy to use, blends in really well. I really, really like this foundation. Okay. So that's my base pretty much done. Next we're gonna do bronzer slash contour. So lately I've been loving the Marc Jacobs Beauty Omega Bronzer in Tantastic 104. I got this at Marshall's for like $16, I think. And unfortunately I can't post a link to this one because Marc Jacobs Beauty has gone out of business or have been put on hold. I can't remember which one. Anyway, I'm gonna use a La Mer angled little brush. They don't name their brushes, which kind of bothers me, but I won these in a giveaway, so I'm not gonna complain. And then I just kind of start back here, like up near the top of my ear, between there and my temple, and then I just start working it down. And I don't know that this really contours, it just adds some life and color to my face, like you can see. I know there's kind of some harsh light on this side, so I apologize for that. And then we do a little bit on the forehead. I don't have a big forehead, so I don't like to do a lot, but I just like to make sure that color is consistent. A little bit there. I do like to do underneath my chin, although blending this part out is sometimes a struggle. Okay, this lighting is just obnoxious, man. Try to mimic a jaw, because I don't have much of one naturally. I was not gifted genetically with a jawline. That's okay. That's why we have makeup, to pretend, right? And then this area here, I like to concentrate it the most because while I have a complex about my forehead wrinkles, I have a larger one about my chin. All right, after that, I like to use a big fluffy blush. This one, fluffy brush. This one's from Glamlight. And blend that in as much as I can because we want to avoid harsh lines, right? Yeah. Okay. Some other bronzers that I've also been enjoying a lot are the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Everybody likes this bronzer. I used the Sunset bronzer shade. However, I have to use this in the summer because the shade is slightly too dark for me in the winter. But the formula on these, I mean, you know, you've probably used this. It's amazing. And I also have one of the blushes. And then the other one is the ColourPop. This one is very gross and dirty because I have pretty much used it to death, as you can see, but she still has some life, so try to use her a little bit more too. And this one is just in the shade bronzer. Next we're gonna do blush. There are a few different blushes that I've really been enjoying, and sometimes it's very hard for me to decide which one I want to use. So I'll go through all the ones that I like the most with you and then make a decision. So the first one is from Phase Zero. It's called Making Moves. I think this came in a BoxyCharm. It's gorgeous. It reminds me of the Sleek Rose Gold one. It's so pretty. It has, all of these are pretty luminous blushes actually. So it's got some like gold in there. Very, very pretty. Next I have a Wet n Wild one from the Bloomin' collection. Oh no, it broke. Well, she just cracked right apart. It looks like this. It's a little bit more pinky than the other one. The other one was a little bit more rosy mauve. And this one again is pretty luminous, although it is a little bit more glittery, I would say. So this one used a light hand. Next is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Saucy Mauve. I like this one for this time of year. Again, it's very luminous, as you can kind of see from the light reflecting off of there. It's really, really pretty, very creamy. Love that one. And then a crowd fave, the Milani Baked Blush, whoopsies, in Luminoso. I would like to get a couple more of these, like, I can't remember the other names, but I want to get some more of their baked products. And then last, another one of everybody's cult favorite, the Nars Orgasm. And I like this one. However, I feel like this one might be too glittery. Did we just say that about a Nars product? Yes, we did. I like it a lot. Again, reminds me very much of the Sleek Rose Gold, which I have loved for years and years and years. I still have mine because I have an emotional attachment to it. And I don't use it anymore, but because I've had it for like 8 years. But I do still really like this one. For today though, I think we're gonna go with the Phase Zero. It has that kind of deeper mauve-y color that I quite like for this. So it's like that, oopsies, peachy mauve. And then I'm going to use a Jessup 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek. It's kind of angled like that. And then just dip in there. Get dust everywhere, as you do. I feel like it's most flattering for my face shape to kind of follow that contour line, not necessarily do the apples of the cheeks, but like from the middle of the eye back, if that makes sense. And then I do like to do my nose, because that's just what I've done forever. And then I like to do a little bit on my chin just to get some color. Right, next of course is highlighter. My absolute favorite for about 1.5 years now has been the Too Faced Fancy Pink Diamond. I forgot to grab a highlighting brush, so I'm just going to use the very tip of this sheer cheek and then just go right in here on the tip there. Grab a mirror and just kind of feather it on all of the places that you normally would. Your cheekbones, the nose. I like to do my chin. You don't have to. Top of the lips. And then I like to do right up here above my brow bone and bring it down. There we go. Another highlighter I've been loving for like if I'm doing all cream products is the ColourPop Lunch Money. It's just gorgeous. Of course it's ColourPop. ColourPop rarely does anything wrong. At this point I like to go in with a setting spray. The one I've been using, just over halfway gone, is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. I had the blue light one too, but the sprayer on that was really crappy. This isn't my favorite setting mist. I prefer the Morphe one or the Revolution Hydrate, Fix, and Set, but I'm out of those. My all-time favorite is the one, it's Millie Bobby Brown's line, but I can't remember the name of it. But her setting spray is amazing. It's my all-time favorite that I have ever used. This one's okay though. It's just kind of all I have right now. So after that, I like to do eyeliner. I've been doing a winged liner lately, and I've been using a liner by Estate. I think got this either in Ipsy or BoxyCharm. And I'm gonna use some washi tape to tape my eyes because I can't do a wing without tape. I like to use washi tape instead of regular tape because one, I have a ton of it, and two, it's just much more gentle on the skin. So, shoot! And I bet since I'm doing this on camera, it's all gonna go very wrong. Oh no. So even though I use the tape, it still does not turn out even, so then I go in and kind of even them up just a slight bit. Of course this eyeliner is drying out. It's as good as that's gonna get. Then I like to use just a black liner and do my waterline. I'm gonna cut this part because I know eye pulling can gross people out. So that's liner done. Next, we're gonna do shadow, and I like to do just kind of a subtle, kind of retro style shadow. So I'm gonna use my palette from Unhidden Beauty. This is a new one, even though it's already dirty, with all these delicious shades. And then I'm gonna use just a fluffy brush from Doe Color. First, I'm gonna go into this neutral color called Birthday Suit. It's basically the same color as my skin tone. We're gonna zoom in here. You can see every line on my face. And then I'm gonna use this color. It's like a light kind of peachy color. It's called William. And we're just gonna add a little bit of depth. That's a little bit more orange than I was anticipating, but it's fine. I've been really liking doing my liner first and then connecting the shadow. It makes my eyes kind of look a little bit bigger and wider. And then on the inner corner, I'm gonna use this sparkly pink shade called Aurora, and I'm just applying that with my finger. The shade is so cool. In the pan, it just looks like a pink shimmer, and then on the eye, it has like this really neat duochrome kind of effect to it. Now it's time for mascara. I have been loving this one from Uoma Beauty, and it's the Level Up mascara. I'm almost out of this and I'm really sad. I got this in an Ipsy box and it has gotten to be my favorite. I'm glad it's sold at Walmart. It makes it very accessible. So that is essentially eyes done. I don't typically put mascara on my bottom lashes unless I have shadow on the bottom, but since I didn't put shadow on the bottom, I'm not gonna do my bottom lashes. Next up, we're gonna do lips. I have been loving for every day this Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner. This one is in the shade 02 Tea Time. One last spritz of setting spray, and that's pretty much it done. Sometimes I'll put a gloss on or another lipstick on top, but for the most part I just do the lip liner, and that is perfectly fine for me. That's it for this video. You probably didn't learn anything from this, but I hope that you found out about some good products, and I hope it was enjoyable to watch. And most importantly, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you drink your water, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.